Today's project is to take this bucket of old keys that I have and see if I can make a tambourine type attachment for a snare drum using keys as the jingles. So in here I have some cool old keys like this, skeleton keys, and I don't think I'm going to use those because technically they're my wife's, and also because I don't think they're going to resonate as well, and because they have a fat profile they're going to take up too much space. So I'm just going to use like regular house keys. Like I found this thing, these are all labeled with room numbers, so it's like they're from an old hotel that probably went to the key cards. And I found this in a parking lot or something. Just a bunch of old keys like this. And together like this, they don't make that much noise. But I think it's the same problem I had with those bells that I made, in that when you get too many of them together, they just kind of dampen one another. So I'll see if I can figure out something, but that's the idea. Now I have some actual tambourine jingles that fell off of a broken tambourine a while back, and they were just laying around, so I collected them up. So if the keys really don't work, I can put these actual tambourine jingles in there and try that. But I'm going to try keys first, because then I don't have to buy anything new, and you don't either if you want to emulate this. So with a little simple testing, I found that these sort of brassy looking keys ding more than the similar looking but more silvery keys. So I'm going to go with these for my project. Measured everything out what I think is carefully. I got my 2 holes for the lugs, or the tension rods. I've got this cut out to accept the curvature of the shell, and then I'm just going to cut myself out a piece here with my trusty handsaw because I don't know how to use power tools. Or I don't have the right power tools. One of the two. Okay, I now have this sort of bow tie-ish shaped piece that's going to hook onto the drum. Now I need a way to attach the keys to it. What I came up with here was this. I made these notches. They're really rough right now. I got to smooth them out. But the keys, ideally, once this is glued together, are going to sit in these slots with a couple of nails. And if I put 2 keys or 3 keys in each one, we'll see how it works. Then I should be able to get a tambourine-like effect out of the keys. A couple of tiny nails, a little bit of glue, and it's ugly and it's lopsided, but it's just made out of scrap wood. So it's just for proof of concept. But that's going to hold the keys. It's going to go on top of this thing, which is going to hold the whole contraption onto the side of the snare drum. Okay, so here is the sort of quote-unquote finished product. I've put a nail down through, just like a tambourine would have, and put 2 keys in each side. And you can kind of see, maybe, if we get it to focus, there's a washer down here under each of the 2 key sets so that they don't, choke out completely on the wood. So, does it sound cool on its own, I guess, is test number 1. And kind of. It's sort of jingly. It's a little bit more muted than I would like, and that's probably why tambourines are so thin. But it might work. So let's go see if it fits on the drum. With a little bit of sanding, I got it to fit on the drum, and this is the intended effect. It sits in there, but when you play the drum, you can't really hear it. I mean, if I put my ear right by it, I can hear that the keys are jingling, but it doesn't make enough of an effect to be a worthwhile addition to the kit. I'll see if I can show you. Even if I hit the thing directly, it really just doesn't make that much noise. So I'm going to think of something I can do to fix this. So I figured out if I use these Iron Cobra hammer drum keys, I can mount it without having to undo the lugs on my drum every time. But no matter what I do, I cannot create enough vibration to get that jingle sound when I actually hit the drum with a stick. So the only thing I can figure next is I'm going to try mounting these tambourine jingles in the slots instead of the keys. Since they're for this purpose and they're a little lighter, maybe they'll respond better. As one would expect, the tambourine jingles are a lot more sensitive and a lot louder. Sounds just like a tambourine. Okay, so I guess that's why they are specifically made for this purpose. We'll see if they make any difference when I go to play the drum. Not really. So no matter what I do, I really can't get them to vibrate. Turns out, what we've learned from this is that mounting things to the hoop doesn't really have enough vibration to augment the sound. That's why they make those big fat snare drums with the tambourine jingles in the head, or in the mat that you put on the head, because the head is the only thing that vibrates enough to get the tambourine sound. We can confirm that hypothesis just by setting it on the head. You can kind of hear they're jingling now. Right? The problem with setting it on the head is that no matter what you do, it's going to rotate around due to vibration and end up right here. Or if you play a flatter drum, it might end up somewhere else weird, but it's going to end up somewhere in your way. So without a way to attach it to the rim to keep it from just migrating around the drum, this is completely worthless. So I've failed. Now the only thing I could see that would be useful is if I were to put it on the rim on the side in such a way that when I did a rim click across the drum, it would be mounted over here and I could actually hit it so that I get a little tambourine sound on my rim click. You know, they make little wooden pieces that fit down over the top of your tension rods to give you a woodier rim click sound. And this could be that, but the way I designed it, where it sits, it's not tall enough. So there's no way right now to actually hit it without hitting the rim first. So what can I do about this? Well, I could glue on a piece that makes it taller, and therefore accessible for that, and that's about the only way this is going to be salvageable as a functional item. Otherwise, it is an over-engineered piece of garbage. I guess I could just hold it and play tambourine with it this way. Other than that, a lot of wasted effort. Alright, after 2 successive failures, I've come up with the final vindication for this item. I've obviously nailed and glued on this larger top plate, and now it is accessible from the rim click, or cross shot, whatever you want to call this, rim knock position. And you can hear that it actually functions. There you go. So there you have it, a homemade tambourine rim click attachment for your 10-lug snare drum, as I intended all along. Ha. Right.